So you want to have a panic attack on a plane. I like it. I like this. This is the spirit. This is what we're looking for. So now I can't absolutely guarantee you'll have one of these special, wonderful experiences. But there are a couple things you can do. I'm going to share 5 things you can do, mostly in the lead up to a trip, to drastically improve your chances of having a panic attack, just a full blowout on an airplane to get your trip started.
Step 1. Hate on panic attacks.
If we want to improve our chances of having a panic attack, the work begins weeks before the actual trip. What we want to do is every time we think about the trip, we want to think about how terrible it would be to have a panic attack and how having a panic attack on the plane would completely ruin the trip and taint it forever. And the reason we want to do this is because we want to make the brain see panic attacks as a massive, terrifying danger. If we label something as bad, as this wrong contamination that we need to perfectly clean away and avoid, our brains are going to help us. And our brains are going to help us by constantly obsessing about the bad thing to watch out for it and so we can protect ourselves from it. The thing is, with a panic attack, if we start obsessing about it all the time and the brain's constantly throwing it up so we can avoid it, we're actually going to start to detect sensations and feelings that we judge as a panic attack, that we judge as wrong, as bad, things that are going to ruin the trip. Okay? So weeks in advance, really start to obsess about all of the ways that a panic attack could ruin the trip.
Step 2. Micromanage everything.
The second thing we're going to do in the weeks leading up to the trip to help ensure we have a panic attack on the plane is we're going to get on our computers when we're planning. We're going to tippy tap on our keyboards, and we are going to pack in as much as humanly possible to that trip. We are going to make it so complex. We are going to try to do everything, see everything, eat everything, spend a lot of time only thinking about what other people are going to think about the images and the videos that you post about your trip. Make sure you organize a trip that completely ignores your own needs, your own interests, and your own enjoyment. Pack in as much uncertainty as possible. It's a really complex trip. And the reason we do all of that is because so much of what goes into a panic attack is micromanaging our human experience. And if we are going on an adventure which is loaded with uncertainty, and we like controlling uncertainty and experiences, we're going to register that we can't control all those uncertainties on the trip. We're going to understand just how much uncertainty is packed into the really tight connections and train trips that we've planned. When we register that, we're going to turn our need for control onto ourselves. We're going to end up micromanaging ourselves. Micromanaging our human experience, looking for something to control, is a one-way ticket to panic attack town. So let's get that planned. We don't really need to sleep on the trip. We can just...
Step 3. Implement the halo of avoidance.
Okay. To be more susceptible to having a panic attack on the plane, it helps to put this kind of halo of avoidance around the trip. This like massive buffer space where we're not going to do any mental health and fitness work. We're going to put in extra effort to avoiding any triggers because we're really afraid that some kind of challenging experience is going to come up, and that's just going to kind of spill over into the trip. So the more we try to avoid challenges and difficult experiences, the less opportunity we have to learn new mental health skills or to practice mental health skills. And that will ensure that when we get on that plane, we are completely unprepared for handling any difficult experiences, which is going to make us so afraid of running into a panic attack. And which is going to be a great way to have one.
Step 4. Check everything. Again.
Now, the fourth thing we want to do to increase our chances of having a panic attack on the plane on the day of the trip, or even the day before, but right around the trip, we really want to start to show ourselves. Just a second, I'm just going to take a photo of the appliances to prove they're unplugged. Okay, is we really want to show ourselves that we don't trust ourselves. Actually, I'll just take another photo, make sure my laptop is turned off. Also, make sure I have a photo of my laptop here because somebody could come and steal it. We want to do as much checking and doubting of ourselves as possible. This has two benefits for having a panic attack. Is one, just a second, I just want to make sure I have my passport. One of the things I used to do when I struggled with my mental health was not only would I check my passport to that I had it, but I'd also check that it was actually me, because I was always worried I wasn't actually me. And so multiple times going to the airport, I would check that the person on the passport was me. But even after I did that many times, I could never quite be certain that was actually me. Do stuff like that if you want to have a panic attack. And because of all that checking, the checking appliances, the checking ourselves, just want to make sure I actually got the right plane ticket and got the date right. Actually, I know the date and the time is right, but I just want to make sure. All of that doubting of ourselves, teaching our brains not to trust ourselves, is really going to set ourselves up for not trusting ourselves to have a difficult experience or to have any kind of experience on the plane. It also has another benefit to having a panic attack, is that when we're constantly doubting ourselves and doubting reality and not trusting ourselves and not trusting our perception, we then are going to doubt reality even more when we feel unsafe. So if we start to question whether we actually feel safe, even though we actually are safe and things are well, of course, then we're even going to doubt that reality. I think I have the keys. Okay, I have the keys. And I think I still have my passport. Okay, I still have my passport and it is me. It's still me. I think that is me. I think that's me. Do you remember if we turned off the stove? Because I'm just thinking maybe we should go take a photo of the stove before we go. Actually, I haven't used the stove in a week just so I wouldn't have to check it, but just in case, right? It could have turned on. Can you just watch my bag here a second and don't worry, we'll be on time. I'm going to go check the stove.
Step 5. Keep practicing compulsions.
The fifth and final thing we're going to do is we got to put it all together. So when we go to the airport, when we're on the plane, we've got to put all of those practices together if we really want to have a panic attack. So we got to hate on feelings. We got to, keep hating on the possibility of a panic attack, hate on any kind of discomfort in our bodies. We've got to keep on controlling and checking on the trip, try to make everything perfect, judge every little problem that could go wrong. We've got to maintain that halo of avoidance. Don't watch any movies that could be triggering on the flight. Don't have any conversations. Don't look at anything that could be triggering. Really maintain that halo. And then continue all of the checking. Really erode any sense of trust you could have in yourself. Right? Every time we check, we're basically saying to the brain, hey, I don't trust this person. They can't handle it. So keep that up. Keep up all of the checking. And if you do these kinds of practices in the weeks before your trip, and then you continue practicing them with discipline and vigor at the airport and on the plane, maybe you'll have a panic attack. Now, you may be wondering, if we want to go have a panic attack on a plane, what am I doing back in my hotel room holding a bottle of Merlot dressed in my bathrobe? This doesn't look like I'm ready to go to the airport. And you're right. I decided I didn't feel ready, and I was having some uncomfortable feelings, and I really thought, whoa, I do not want to have this experience. The thing is, too, I'm playing the long game. I don't want to just have panic attacks on airplanes. I want to have panic attacks everywhere. So avoiding having a panic attack on the airplane is a great way to teach my brain, whoa, like not only could I not handle that, but if I avoided that because of this uncomfortable feeling, well, there are a lot of other areas in life that also involve uncomfortable feelings like that. So I'm really hoping that by just staying at home to get drunk I'm going to encourage my brain to have a lot more panic attacks in a lot more places. Okay, I also can't get drunk because it's corked, and I took out the corkscrew earlier, but it's really sharp, and I started to have intrusive thoughts about stabbing it in my eye, so I don't really want to use it. Actually, I don't even want to have it close to my heart like that. So I don't know, I'll just hold the bottle of wine for now. Making me feel a little panicked.